Hello there, fifth graders. This week in math, we are going to work on pages 131, 132, 134, 135, and 136. And this week, we're going to focus on multi-digit multiplication, and we're going to practice two strategies. The first is the standard algorithm, or like what I like to call it is the classic way. And then we're also going to practice the area model, or we used to call it the box method. You learned about this strategy at the very beginning of the school year, and we're going to review it and practice it, and we're going to see how these two strategies are related. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. This assignment may seem like a long assignment for this week, but remember, on each of these pages, there isn't that many problems to do. So you will find that it will not take you very long to complete this math assignment. Don't forget, when you're finished with this assignment, please click Turn In on the Google Classroom, and also take a picture of your work through your family's cell phone or using your Chromebook and send it to me. Okay, let's get started. Number 1. Mrs. Hill's preschool classroom is 16 feet wide and 28 feet long. She's planning to divide it into 4 sections. Here is her plan. Use a multiplication equation to label the area of each section in square feet. So what we're going to do here is we're going to use the lines on the outside of our classroom to label the dimensions. This is going to look like the box method. Let's go ahead and get started. So as you can see, we broke up the length and the width by tens and ones. So if you can see that the length of this classroom is 28 feet by 16 feet. You can imagine the blue parts to be the tens, 10, 20, and then you can see 8 ones. For the width, we can see that this is 16, so 1 10, and then 6 ones. 10 plus 6 makes 16, 20 plus 8 makes 28. So we're going to use the box method, and we are going to use the expanded form to label each dimension. So I'm going to start with the rug here. So this is going to be 20 by 10, or 20 times 10. So go ahead and label the rug. 20 times 10 equals. And then we're going to go ahead and do the table. The table is going to be 8, right? 8 ones by 10. 8 times 10 equals. Now we're going to do the art area. So the art area is going to be 20 by 6. 20 times 6. And then finally the library corner, which is the smallest area of the classroom, will be 8 by 6. Okay, now I'm going to write in the products. So we have 20 times 10. Think of 2 times 1 is 2. Put the 2 zeros is 200. 8 times 10 is 80 square feet. 20 times 6, think of 2 times 6 is 12. And we have the 0 at the end, 120. And then 8 times 6 is 48. Now, if you remember, what do we do with the products of our area model? We add them together. So we're going to go to the bottom of our page right here, and we're going to add 200 plus 80 plus 120 plus 48. It doesn't matter the order that you add the products. What's important is that you remember to stack your numbers so that their digits are in the ones, the tens, and the hundreds place. Okay, let's go ahead and find the sum. 8. 8 plus 2 is 10, plus 4, 14. Bring the 1 up. 2, 3, 4. So our total square feet, remember we're using square feet because we're finding the area of a 2D floor. So we're going to use square feet feet squared. Remember, this is 2D. We use the 3D for volume. Okay, now we're going to move on to the next problem, which is number 2. I'm going to show you how to do one problem in number 2, but I'm going to have you do the rest. Okay, you're going to find the products of each of these problems. If you're going to notice right away that they are multiples of 0 or multiples of 10. So I'm going to use that really easy trick that you learned at the beginning of the year. I'm going to multiply the non-digit zeros, and then I'm going to put the zeros at the end. So think about 20 times 30 as 2 times 3. So 2 times 3 is 6. Don't forget to put the zeros at the end to make this 600. Okay, I think you can do the rest of number 2 all on your own. Now I'm going to go on to page 132. Now we're on page 132. So question 3. Sketch an array for each of the frames below. Label each part with a multiplication equation to show its area. Then find the total area of the array. I'm going to show you how to do A, and then you can do B and C on your own. In this page, we're going to use the box method or the area model to show what 26 times 13 looks like. So I'm going to show you first how to sketch an array for the frame below. First, what you're going to do is you're going to use a ruler and a pencil, and you're going to finish the rest of this rectangular array. So you can see that I added the bottom length and the right side of the width. Go ahead and do that first. Next, you're going to separate the tens from the ones. Remember, the tens are the straight lines and the ones are the little pieces of the lines broken up. So you can see with the blue dot that I separated one 10, another 10, and then I have another 10 right here that makes a 13 that I'm going to draw across. Don't forget to use a ruler to make your work nice and neat and high quality. So there you can see we separated the tens first, 110, 210, going across the length, and for the width, there's one more 10. Now I'm going to make this a little bit easier. I'm going to erase this middle 10. This will make my equations a little bit easier. So I have a kind of a big part here, a medium part, and then I have a small part. Now I'm going to write in the equations for each of the parts of the array. So for here, this is 20 by 10, or 20 times 10. This right here is 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this would be 6 times 10. Now I'm on this long part right here. This would be 20, 10, 20, 20 by 3, or 20 times 3. And then the smallest part of my array is going to be 6 times 3. Next, I'm going to write down the products of each parts. This is 20 times 10. Think of this as 2 times 1 is 2. Don't forget to add the 2 zeros for 200. 6 times 10, 60. 20 times 3, think of 2 times 3 is 6 with 1 0 to make 60. And then 6 times 3 is 18. Next, I'm going to add up the products of each of the parts of the array on the side. So here I've written each of the products from the array down below. Remember to stack your products so that the ones, the tens, and the hundreds are lined up perfectly. So now I'm going to find the sum. 6 plus 6 is 12, plus 1 is 13. Bring the 1 over. 2 plus 1 is 3. So my total area is going to be 338. And we're going to call this units. I really don't know the measurement. I'm going to call this units squared because we're talking about a 2D area. Okay, so next what we're going to do is we're going to go on to B and C. For B and C, first remember to finish the outside of the array so it makes a rectangle or a square. Remember to use a ruler to do this part so you can see the finished square and the finished rectangle here. Next, you're going to separate your 10s and 1s. For B, you can see that this is 10 and 5, and then the width is 10 and 4 to make 14. And so this is my my lines to separate the 10s and 1s. And for C, this looks a little bit different. So instead of separating the 20 for 23, think about this as 10 plus 10. This whole length is 20 plus 3, so 23. And this would be 10 plus 7. 10 plus 7 is 17. So you can see that there are 4 parts in each of the arrays. Now go ahead and write down the equations in each part of your array, then add the products to find the total area. For number 4, this is similar to what was on the page 131. We're going to write the answers or the products of the problems below. So remember, we're multiplying by multiples of 10. So you can notice right away that I highlighted the digits that are not zeros. So whenever you're multiplying by zeros, you can always multiply the digits that are not zeros first. So this is 20 times 9. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to first multiply 2 times 9. So I know that 2 times 9 is 18. And I have 1 0 to put at the end to make this 180. Okay, now go ahead and do the rest of the problems on your own. And then we'll move on to page 133.